headlines for was a war between Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay. So these three countries basically kind of just wanted to take land from Paraguay. Paraguay was much larger. During that war, the reason why it's such a strong and like heavy, it's a little bit heavy on Paraguayans is because during that war, not just men had to fight, but women and children. And it was one of the largest massacres of Paraguayan people in history of all wars. So because of that, women had to single-handedly rebuild the country, which is kind of like a joke, an inside joke in Paraguay, but it's just like we could all be cousins, because technically, yes, we kind of all are. And with that being said, it just goes to show how much heart we have to persevere and to just come back from any defeat that we might have. We just continue going, and that's, I think, what's rooted in the Ibarete.
Wow. Okay. Can I just follow?
And the Garra Guarani.
When was the war?
When was the war?
Yeah.
1864 to 1870.
1864 to 1870.
Okay. Can you just tell me it was in the 1800s, late 1800s?
It was in the late 1800s.
What were you going to say?
Just I was going to follow because you were talking about how some of the dancing traces back to that war. If you could explain that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think yes.
Yeah. So the dancing is traditional in a sense of like during that time of the war, we were heavily influenced by European, like French influence, Spanish influence, but also like Bulgarian influence, because Paraguay was very rich. We had so many resources. We had one of the first trades in South America. We had tons of like French attire and gold and things like that. So there's also myths that during the war people would bury their gold in order to come back after the war. So people are still looking for gold in Paraguay. There's like all these myths and things like that. So the dance was very beautiful, ballroom dance. So it's European influence, but still has like the traditional tie into it with the yangeli and the fabrics. They're all folkloric dances. So the music that's folkloric that we dance to is like about the train, about the cart that carries the food across. It's about the bird, the national bird, the song, the song of the bluebird that sings. So we just kind of tell stories through our movements and through the dance of the music.
I mean, not to bring everything back to football, but there's like a interesting symmetry between this movement and for women and not that up to the Paraguay women.
Choreography, it's
yeah.
You have to kind of like, because I play, you have to really like. We say it's like a unicorn kind of situation because we've been dancing together for so long. Like maybe someone on a team could be playing together for so long. You know each other's move. You know when someone's gonna turn. You know when someone's gonna lay down with the bottle, even though you didn't rehearse it that way. So dance and football do go hand in hand because football is a dance, and that's why they call it a beautiful game because it has these movements.
Well said. I was going for that.
It's like getting going.
I'm like, yeah. Okay. This team, you can speak to what you know, but like who and what excites you about this particular Paraguay national team?
This is a tricky question. I don't know anything about this coach actually.
Okay.
I know Jesus Medina is on the team.
Is he?
I'm not sure. Is he actually? Yeah.
He might have was at one point. I don't know if he's in. Speaking about Miguel Miro, I mean, speak more generally about the pride you have in this particular team. It's been 16 years since they've been to the World Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
So the last time that Paraguay qualified was in 2010. Yeah. So that's 16 years ago. As soon as I found out, I was like, no way, where are all my jerseys? I need to get my jersey collection out, and that was awesome. I think I'm excited because Paraguay, we've just been forgotten for so many World Cups, and people are like, "Who are you going for?" And I'm like, "Well, not Paraguay."
And what about Miguel Almiron, right? You've been around MLS a little bit.
Yeah,
So who's he to you, and what does he mean to Paraguay?
Miguel Almiron right now is basically leading football and what football is for Paraguay, especially here in MLS with Atlanta United. Happy that he's back. I'm excited to see him play for the national team. I'm excited to see what he does.
And then that first game, USA versus Paraguay. You know, that's quite for you, for Fabio. Like, it's a big culmination, right? Take me there. What's that going to be like for you to be able to celebrate this team and this country against the U.S.?
Yeah, it's interesting to see because I am Paraguayan. I've always said I'm Paraguayan, and anyone ever asks me, "Where are you from?" I'm like, I'm Paraguayan because I was born there. But the U.S. raised me. You know, I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be a U.S. citizen. I'm happy to have gone through all my schooling here. It's kind of a hard moment to understand that Paraguay will be versing, but it's also really cool because it's like where I am. It's where I've been growing up and where all my friends are, but also where I've been able to create this like secondary subculture of Paraguayan Americans, knowing so many Paraguayans that were born here and they still keep really tight to their roots. I'm also thinking about maybe I design like a half Paraguay, half U.S. jersey just to be able to represent both. That was actually my dad's idea. Can we make something like that? I'm like, yeah, probably.
Lastly, tell me what we're here doing, what we're celebrating. Why is this typical of Paraguay, right? It's the Dia de Independencia. It's also Mother's Day. Yeah, and how is this a typical kind of setting for it?
Right, so la Dia de Independencia Paraguaya is celebrated in 2 days, so the 14th and the 15th. And we close out the 15th with Paraguay's Mother's Day. So today we're having a traditional Paraguayan asado with an asador, Jorge, and he's on the grill with charcoal. We only do charcoal grill out here. Costillas, picañas, sopa paraguaya that my mom made, and some mandioca. And that's it, una picada. So we like to just celebrate with food, you know, cerveza, family, football, and dance.
And just a little bit more about the dances. Just tell me, like, you touched on it, but I want to get a little bit more. Why is it so significant? And then you and your group practicing, like, who are you and why do you do it?
So we are Panambibera. Panambibera means golden butterfly in Guarani, and we have been dancing for over 30 years. You know, since we came here basically to create that kind of connection to Paraguayan roots through dance and music. It started off with my mom just kind of meeting other Paraguayans, and they were musicians, so she would invite them over to her house, and we would just play live music in the living room. And eventually, you know, all the kids just started dancing, and she would teach us some dance moves. And then my sister, like I said, in school, everyone studies dance, so everyone knows how to move. Then we started performing in different churches and cultural events, and ultimately became a dance company. We would get hired and called to do like other cultural events at like the United Nations. We did a performance at the Kimmel Center in Philly. So I performed with one of the biggest Paraguayan harpists, Mariano Gonzalez, over there at the Library of Congress. So I think it just becomes something that is traditional, but also people want to learn more about Paraguay through dance, so we also make it educational.
And can you tell me, I know we won't put this in if it doesn't happen, but can you tell me that you guys are going to dance at first day? We're actually going to dance at first day.
Yes.
Which is an honor.
We're super excited that we got invited to perform with FIFA for one of their fan experiences in LA for the USA versus Paraguay game. And I feel like we were made for this. I feel like this is something that I've been rehearsing for my whole life. One of the biggest stages in the world is the World Cup. So I'm just excited to be able to have people sing along with me and do that.
Amazing. You got anything else?
No, that was amazing.
Awesome. Do you have any battery left for portrait shot? Let's do it now.
Yeah. It was BCam that was
Yeah, we got 1 minute left.
Thank you.